What's up, everybody? You are tuned in to the Arrowhead Chief Podcast. I'm your host, Cris Recaps. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. And we had a big game over the weekend. Week 1 of the NFL season. The Kansas City Chiefs end up going against the Cleveland Browns in a big game. It came down to the wire. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to dissect that game, tell you what I saw with my eyes in this game. Now, from the jump, before we get into the game, we all know, if you don't know, but if you do know, the Tyrann Mathieu, Frank Clark was not playing in this game. Also on their side, Odell Beckham did not play. So we were both down big components of one of their big components on offense, and two of our big defensive pieces on defense with Frank Clark and Tyrann Mathieu. Say what you want about Frank Clark, he still is a big piece of this defense by setting the edge on this defense. So, and it was truly missed, and we're gonna get into that too. And we also missed Willie Gay's athleticism, his sideline presence against the run, and in coverage against tight ends. But we're gonna get into that too. So, as always, Andy Reid, when they do the coin toss, they always defer, so they can get the ball in the second half, just in case they need to get the ball to swing the momentum, or if they're up and the momentum's high, they want to keep the momentum going. So they defer to the Browns. The Browns get the ball, and they put together a nice drive. They march down the field. I want to say they get down to about the 30-yard line, and it's like 4th and 2. And they end up going for it on 4th down. And this was a reoccurring thing in this game. They kept going for it on 4th down. They was aggressive because they know that the Kansas City Chiefs offense, with Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and the rest of the cast, those guys can score and strike at any minute. And it will happen in this game. We're going to get into that later too. But they were aggressive. They came out. They went for a 4th down. The offensive line of the Cleveland Browns pretty much opposed their will on the defensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm going to tell you right now, also in the secondary, they were just chipping away. There were some big plays that were broken from the rookie. I think his name was Anthony Schwartz. Their 3rd-round pick receiver. He's really fast. He broke past them. Their tight ends were getting open with Njoku, and I want to say Harrison Bryant. They were just doing what they want in this first half. They were marching down the field. Baker Mayfield was out there having a game. And they marched down the field on the first drive, and they put up 8 points. And don't be surprised if this is the blueprint, because we saw some of this last year with the Kansas City Chiefs, where teams were being more aggressive, going for it on 4th and 2, 4th and 1, even 4th and 3, because this offense scares defensive coordinators. This offense scares the other team because we could strike so fast. We could put together long extended drives, and then boom, we can hit you with a strike down the field to Tyreek Hill, or boom, hit you with a strike down to Mecole Hardman, or boom, hit you with something with Travis Kelce. It's this offense can hit you in so many ways that offensive coordinators, they plan different, and they plan to be more aggressive. And like I said, we're gonna have to look for that, not just from this past game, but looking forward. I wouldn't be surprised. And the Ravens have done this in the past where they go for it on 4th down. But we're not going to get into the Ravens. We'll say that for another video. But so the Browns march down the field. They put up 8 points. We get the ball back. We march down, and we get to a 4th and 2 situation. But Andy elects to kick the field goal. Now, there was mixed emotions. A lot of Chiefs fans felt like Andy needed to be more aggressive. and he wanted they wanted him to go for it. It's pretty much tit for tat. Let's hit them in the same way. Go for it on fourth down. Let's get a score so that we can be right there with them. Even if we didn't go for two, go for 7, and it's only a 1-point game. But they end up electing going for 3, and they end up being a 6-point game, something like that. Anyway, it was 8-3. So a 5-point game. Sorry, it was a 5-point game from that point. So then they marched down the field again and they scored, making it 15-3. Then finally, Pat and them put together a long extended drive, ended up scoring, made it 10-15. Pretty much in this game, the run defense was non-existent. Like I said, the defensive line was being dominated by the offensive line. Nick Chubbs and Kareem Hunt was doing what they wanted. There was one of the runs, and I think it might have been in the second half, but there was a run by Nick Chubb where the hole was so wide open, he was untouched. He was untouched. And that's what I mean by having Frank Clark in the lineup with setting your edge. This is why we need a Willie Gay with his athletic paralysis, because he could go sideline to sideline, his speed, getting to the runner. We needed that. Our linebackers, we were down, But I tell you what, Nick Bolton, he looked good. He had some mistakes, but he looked good. He looked good in his first game. He started. He made some big tackles in the game. He was right there in some of the pressures right there when when the running back got the ball. So he had a pretty good, decent game. Juan Thornhill, it was a little shaky at first. He got the Anthony Schwartz kid kind of broke past him a couple times, but after a while, when he settled down, Juan Thornhill made some plays. He forced a fumble on Nick Chubbs when we needed it, because it was about to get out of hand. It really was. It was about to get out of hand, but Juan Thornhill made a big play and made Nick Chubbs fumble the football. And Nick Chubbs never fumbles the football. He is not known for fumbling, but he fumbled, and we ended up getting 3 points from it. But all in all, in the first half, the Cleveland Browns dominated the game. That's what they did. They dominated the first half of the game. When the second half came out, there was a little bit of a momentum shift because Chris Jones ended up getting the sack, and we ended up scoring. And we went into the half with a little bit of momentum, knowing that we was going to get the ball. We got the ball. We marched down the field. We made it 20. It was 20-27 at the time, or 20-22 at the time. Then the Browns went down the field. They ended up scoring, making it 29-20. Then on the next play, and this is why I say teams are afraid, and this is where I believe the real momentum shift in this game. Pat Mahomes, he comes out. They let the rush comes in. He moves up in the pocket. He does what he always does. Goes to his right, looking downfield, falling out of bounds. Flings the football down. Tyreek Hill is coming across, and with the defender looking at Tyreek Hill, because defenders are scared of his speed so much that they're trying to keep their eye on him, and instead of him looking for where the ball is, Tyreek Hill sees the ball, makes an adjustment, catches it, takes it to the house for 75 yards. And I tell you, that right there, I believe that broke the door open. It got Arrowhead back in the crowd, back into the game. They were loud. The next thing you know it, the defense ends up getting a stop. We get the ball back. They go down the field. They score. Um, now, this is the first time that the Chiefs have a lead in the game. Well, actually, no, they score, making it 20. No, they go back, they go down, they score, and it's the first time they get a lead in the game. It's 33 to 29. Baker Mayfield and them get the ball again. They go 3 and out. Juan Thornhill makes another big play when on 3rd and 7. Baker Mayfield goes back, throws the pass. Anthony Schwartz hits him in his hands, but Thornhill has his arm in between him and the ball, and he swipes it out, knocking the ball out. They got to kick it, and we had a chance. I think it was like 3 minutes left on the clock. We had a chance to milk it and put the nail in the coffin, but kudos to Cleveland's defense. They brought the rush, sacked Pat on like a 3rd and 8 or something like that. And it ended up, they end up getting the ball back with like a minute something. They got a timeout left. But the defense stepped up, and Baker Mayfield ended up throwing an interception. I think it was on the 1st down. He ended up throwing an interception, game over. But I will say this, Cleveland, they are a formidable opponent. They will be right there at the end of the season. Baker Mayfield, he played damn near an excellent game. And if it wasn't for a fumble, a muff punt, or the punter dropping the ball, muffing the ball, dropping it, and him, instead of him picking it up and kicking it, and him panicking and running, we might be looking at this game different. We might be walking away with a loss. Now, if he still got the punt off, I still believe that Pat and them would have still marched down the field, because the offense wasn't the problem in this game. It was the defense. But kudos to Spags. He made adjustments in the second half, and the defense woke up. They settled down, and they woke up. And that's the one thing I will say is the story of this game. What separates teams from being good teams and championship teams. What Mahomes and the offense and the defense, what they displayed yesterday was they've been there before. We've been in this situation before, fellas. We've been down before. We know what to do in this situation. Let's not panic. From the 2019-2020 playoffs, when they were down 24-0 against the Texans, when they were down 10 points against the Titans, when they were down 10 points against the 49ers in the Super Bowl, they are used to being down and coming back, because this team is tried and true. This team is tried and true. I believe that this team, and I still believe that the Chiefs are going to get home field advantage. But let's say the Chiefs don't get home field advantage. Let's say Cleveland, Buffalo, the Steelers, whoever, any of your top teams that you feel are top of the AFC. I still believe that the Kansas City Chiefs can travel anywhere and win, because they are tried and true. And also the storyline of the game is this. There's a difference between being a good quarterback and a great quarterback. Kansas City had the great quarterback. When it was time to put something together and put the team on his back and rally the troops, Patrick Mahomes did that with the 75-yard pass. When it was time for Baker Mayfield to make a play and the pressure was on his back, he fumbled the bag. He ended up fumbling the bag. He ended up throwing an interception. He couldn't come through. And this is what the game is all about. It's not about the big plays when everything's going good and everything is right. It's when everything is going bad. When those 2 or 3 plays that you gotta make to win the game. Those 2 or 3 plays, when you look back and say, if I did that and if I did this, Those are the important plays. And that's what the storyline of this game is that Baker Mayfield could not make the big play or the plays that he needed to make when it was time to pay the piper, when it was time to put the team on his back. And that's why they walked away with the L and the Chiefs walked away with the W, and it was a beautiful thing. Now, let's talk about the Honey Badger. Let me tell you something. This game, if no other game showed that this man needs to be paid, this was the game that people need to know that the Honey Badger needs to be paid. It's not just because of his play on the field. Yeah, we know that. He is an equalizer in that secondary where you can move him around and do so many things. I don't believe some of those big passes would have got off of Honey Badger was in there. Maybe some of them, but not all of them. That man needs to go to Brett Veach right now with the game film of Sunday and say, you need to pay me my money. You need to pay up. Anything else you was talking about, I don't want to hear it. You need me. They missed his veteran leadership. Now, for all sakes purposes, like I said, in the second half, they stepped it up to Chris Jones, Anthony Hitchens, Juan Thornhill, Daniel Sorensen. They all stepped up when they needed to step up, but still, you can still feel the void of the presence of the Honey Badger, of the landlord. Speaking of the landlord, you like my shirt? Rent is due. Tyrann Mathieu, I'm telling you, rent was due. And that's what he needs to go to Brett Veach and say, rent is due. I need my money. And Brett Veach need to go up to him with a blank check and just say, what do you want, man? What do you want? What do you want? Because we need you. We need you. We saw what life would be like without you. We need you. So they need to go ahead and give the Honey Badger his money. Once again, the three-headed monster strikes. Patrick Mahomes, Tyrann Mathieu, and Travis Kelce. They were excellent in this game. And once again, Patrick Mahomes showed he's the best quarterback in this league. In the month of September, he has 35 touchdowns and 0 picks. 35 touchdowns and 0 picks. And he's 11-0 in the month of September. That is crazy to think somebody is 35 touchdowns and not 1 pick. You want to know another stat? Patrick Mahomes is over 500 when down plus 10 points. He is the only one that's over 500. And you know the other two that's on that list? Tom Brady, Joe Montana. They both are under 500 when they are down 10 points. So Patrick Mahomes is in a class by himself. You know what else Patrick Mahomes did? He broke some records. He broke Kurt Warner. I think he broke his passing yard record. I think the fastest to like 10,000 yards or something like that in 47 games. Dan Marino's touchdown in 47 games. It took them 50. I think it took them more than that. But Patrick Mahomes broke some more records. But why should we be surprised? He's the best quarterback in the league. Travis Kelce was efficient, was still himself, making that defense look stupid, doing what he wanted. Tyreek Hill was explosive, the best receiver in the league to me. The best receiver in the league. If Tyreek Hill was 6 foot tall, people would say he was the best receiver. It would be no question. They wouldn't even question he was the best receiver. But because he's 5'9", 5'10", they question it. The three-headed monster was also the story in this game because they all contribute in some type of way. Now, let's talk about this running game. Now, I saw a lot of gripes with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and rightfully so. There were some plays where I was watching where I don't know if Clyde just, I don't know what happened, but there were some plays where there was enormous room for him to run to his left. There was one play where he could have ran to his left and had all day to run. And he ended up just running straight up the middle and getting only 3 yards. And yeah, that wasn't a good deal. That wasn't a good deal. That wasn't a good deal at all. I need Clyde Edwards, but I'm not going to crush him. It's only game 1. I'm not going to crush him. It's only game 1. But he does need to fix that. He needs to fix that vision to know that, you know, to see where the holes are at and not just run up the middle. He's got to have better awareness. But that's something to look out for. This offensive line played pretty good. The interior was excellent. Other than a Joe Tooney holding penalty that was, to me, BS, the interior was great. Joe Tooney, Creed Humphrey, Trey Smith, they played their butts off. Lucas Nguyen, Orlando Brown, they were good. They were decent. But they had, you know, they had their few, you know, where the edge rusher came around. Clowney kind of, he got something off on Lucas Nguyen. I forgot the defender for Cleveland. He was getting off on Orlando Brown. It was, they had some rough drives, but for the most part, they did okay. And they'll get better. I'm not going to sit up here and give up on them. They will get better. And for all, so they was better than what we saw in the Super Bowl. And that's all that we asked for. If anything better than that, anything greater than what we saw in the Super Bowl, Pat's going to be okay. Pat will be fine. So we shouldn't have to worry about that. But kudos to them. Kudos to Chris Jones. Chris Jones, he had 2 sacks in the game. In the second half, he started being a little bit more of a wrecking ball that he is. I believe when Frank Clark gets back, he will help Chris Jones to free up Chris Jones a little bit more. I believe Spags will continue to move this around. I do want to see this defensive line to improve because we believed from the preseason that we thought this was going to be a strength, and they didn't get a lot of pressure. And that's not a good thing. We need them to be more efficient and get more pressure on the quarterback and not have to blitz so much, but be able to risk blitz, send 4 and send everybody back. We need Chris Jones. We need Frank Clark, Turk Wharton. We need all those guys. Jerron Reed, that's why we signed him. And I was bragging about Jerron Reed, but Jerron Reed did not have a good game on Sunday. And they need to pick that up. They got to get better. And they will. I believe they will. So that's my time today, everybody. Like I said, it was beautiful to get that win. We got Sunday Night Football against the Baltimore Ravens. I will be dropping a video on Friday, previewing that video, giving you my thoughts on the Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday Night Football. Thank you for watching. Like I said in the beginning, subscribe, hit that like button. If you want to also subscribe to the podcast, they're on all streaming platforms: Apple, Google, Spotify, Breaker, Stitcher. It don't matter. Amazon Music. It don't matter. It's on there. Go subscribe whatever platform that you use to listen to your podcast. You can find Arrowhead Chief Podcast. You can also find me on social media. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I'm on all of it. Hit me up. You can type me, you can hit me up. You can hit me up at Arrowhead Chief Podcast. Heck, on Twitter, you can hit me up on my regular one, Chris_Style702. If you want to hit me direct, but you can hit me on all social media platforms too. I thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Hope y'all have a good week. And until Sunday, I'm gone.